I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that.
Good job.
That lawnmower, that's that.
Gervonta does have a very athletic speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that spec thing like what he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch.
Lamont Roach seems to be in panic mode after intense new training footage of Gervonta Davis surfaced ahead of their rematch. Roach admitted the footage made him realize he must push himself harder and train with more intensity. He acknowledged that Davis was impressive that night, still a hell of a fighter, delivering the most powerful punch of their first bout. The pressure is clearly on.
Rematch that you fought.
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, that's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't give me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think you got some more gigs?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gigs, but I fought the best Gervonta tonight. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And, I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. Just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Gervonta Davis is training with fierce intensity for the rematch, determined to silence critics and prove he's still elite. Focused and disciplined, he's pushing himself harder than ever, aiming to correct past mistakes and deliver a dominant performance that leaves no doubt about his superiority in the ring.
That lawnmower, that's that. Start that motherfucker wrong.
I made the decision to train in DC because, you know, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute. So, third though, this will help me. I'm from Baltimore. He's not from DC. That's what I learned. I thought he was from DC too.
Gervonta Davis is taking no chances ahead of the rematch. His training camp is all business, with footage showing him gliding effortlessly in the ring during sparring. His footwork is sharp, movements precise, and reflexes razor sharp. Davis isn't just going through the motions. Every step is executed with purpose and intensity. The last fight taught him a valuable lesson. Underestimating Lamont Roach can be costly. With that in mind, he's pushing himself harder than ever, determined to correct past mistakes and prove he's still at the top of his... Beyond the finesse, Davis is bringing raw intensity. In one clip, he's seen hammering the sandbag with explosive power, every punch thrown with clear intent. This isn't routine, it's personal. The first fight left too many questions and gave critics too much to say. Now, Davis is preparing like a man on a mission, not just to win but to dominate. His training reflects a hunger for redemption and a desire to make the rematch completely decisive. Renowned boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has praised Gervonta Davis for his rare skill set and ring intelligence. He highlights Davis's ability to stay calm under pressure, never rushing his punches but patiently analyzing his opponent before striking with precision. What sets Davis apart, according to Atlas, is his adaptability. He can fight effectively at any range, whether inside, mid-range, or outside. Combined with his knockout power, this makes him incredibly hard to prepare for. Atlas believes that when Davis is fully focused, he stands among the most complete and dangerous fighters in the sport today.
He's going to try to get to us, but we're going to frustrate him. He doesn't get frustrated. He takes his time. He's deliberate. You know, a lot of times at the beginning, people thought he was just a stick and destroy missile. They thought he was just a guy that got to you. And they thought that he would get over anxious. He don't get over anxious. He takes his time. He slowly crosses, closes those gaps. You know, inch by inch, step by step, and then he gets to you.
Despite the controversial draw in Davis's first fight with Roach, Rolando Romero remains confident in Tank's abilities. He insists it was simply a bad night and doesn't reflect Davis's true level. Romero emphasized that one-off performance doesn't erase an entire career dominance. In his view, Davis's skill, resume, and knockout power still place him among the pound-for-pound elite. With the rematch approaching, Romero is certain Davis will return to form and remind the world why he's considered one of the best fighters in boxing today.
People want to discredit thing is he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night and Bruce. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Drews or what?
Maybe down the line.
What sets Gervonta Davis apart from many of his opponents is his raw, fight-ending knockout power. Unlike fighters who depend solely on volume or technical finesse, Davis possesses a rare ability to change a fight's outcome with a single, well-timed shot. Observers note that he doesn't need to force the action. His power becomes truly dangerous once he finds his rhythm. In contrast, while Lamont Roach displayed strong technical skills and composure in their first bout, he lacks the explosive finishing ability that Davis brings. Many believe that once Davis settles in during the rematch, the pressure and power he unleashes will be overwhelming. If he finds his groove early, the fight might not make it to the final bell.
Back because Gervonta Davis is a puncher, so the extra aggression, you have to manipulate it little by little. You know, you have to instigate the extra aggression little by little. You have to get your timing in there. You have to
I got my pushback.
and also, this is a southpaw. A southpaw sometimes takes a round or two extra to sort of get their timing, get your distances, because every southpaw is a little bit different. Right now, granted, they know each other. They fought in the amateurs, but it's still a lot of years away. And Gervonta does have a very athletic, speed, quick reflex style. So you've got to sort of pressure intelligently. But while I have said in the past, and I still believe this, that Roach doesn't have that special thing, like where he's got really fast hands or a really powerful punch, he still has what I also said in the past, a very good IQ. He's very well trained and very intelligent. His thought process in the ring has a great sense of positioning and a great sense of understanding of where he is in the ring and how to react off that. Could he be a little aggressive, more aggressive? Sure, but you got to keep in mind that you're fighting a puncher who's coming from the southpaw stance and coming from the southpaw athletic angle. Personally, me, especially knowing what has been said about Gervonta behind the scenes for years that nobody brings out, and it kind of brings to light why they keep matching him with 15 and 20 to 1 underdogs. There is a rumor that behind the scenes, the Gervonta, there's a lot of bitch in him. There's a lot of front runner in him. If you push him, he will break, he will fold. It starts to add up because Lamont is from the DC area. They kind of know this. They grew up around him. They fought in the amateurs.
His father, who's his coach, has coached Gervonta in fights.
So that thing sort of comes to light where it's been held back from the public with the limited opposition level that Gervonta's fought most of his career.
Boxer Jaron Ennis weighed in on the Davis versus Roach fight, noting that while Davis didn't dominate the entire bout, his early rounds were highly effective. Ennis pointed out that many fans overlook how Davis landed clean shots and controlled the pace early on. He emphasized that the conversation around the first fight has focused more on Davis's image than his actual performance. Now, the rematch gives Davis a chance to silence the critics and remind the world why he's still considered one of boxing's top-tier fighters. For Gervonta Davis, This rematch with Lamont Roach is more than just a chance to settle the score. It's personal. The controversial draw in their first meeting hurt his pride and raised doubts about his place among the sports elite. Davis understands that his reputation took a hit, and he's determined to restore it. This fight isn't just another date on his calendar. It's a mission. He's training with unmatched focus, driven to eliminate any lingering doubt about his greatness.
National fights. Gervonta Davis draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 tank, or you can make it a draw. But I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. I just didn't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds. He was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit. But Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knocking him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still frustrated and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like he looked sharp to me. And I don't know, people just be talking. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Davis isn't just aiming to beat Roach. He wants to dominate, make a statement, and reclaim the respect he feels slipped away. For him, this rematch is about legacy, redemption, and proving he still belongs at the top.
We got to talk about it. So Tank officially came out and says that he wants to put this rematch as early as May. Now, if that were to happen, Lamont Roach gets a second time to prove himself. Now, in my personal opinion, his stock has already risen. He is already notable. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Tank on a decision that ended in a draw, whether he loses this second fight or not won't even matter. Because he's directly in line to go against the Keyshawn Davis, the Shakur Stevens, and etc., the Devin Haney's, and etc. I can see him moving up and going against Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia or somebody like that. So many people to fight. Lamont Roach has definitely proven himself. But let's talk about something else. And that is the hairstylist situation. In my humble opinion, I believe she should have been quiet. As a hairstylist, there was nothing for you to say. No fan in boxing was gonna look at that like, I don't want her to braid my hair. No one would have said that. But she hurt herself when she came out and publicly made multiple claims, got all these receipts that no one needed, no one asked for, saying, "Oh, this had no grease or oil in it." No one cares. Nobody even believes it. Sometimes it's best to remain quiet. But you guys let me know in the comments. Should she have remained quiet, or should she have did what she did, which is spoke up? You let me know.
After the first fight, Teofimo Lopez observed that Davis appeared somewhat abandoned by parts of the boxing community. The draw sparked doubt, with some questioning if Davis had lost his edge. Lopez noted that in this rematch, Davis isn't just battling Roach. He's fighting a narrative of decline. This bout is more than a rematch. It's a test to see if Davis can rise above the criticism and reclaim public confidence.
A lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you can clip this. This is a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan can clip this right here. So all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm going to talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you're winning, they're going to be there. But they're waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw, look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We're not we have to learn how to care about other people.
The first fight against Roach was one of the toughest in Davis's career. Roach didn't just survive. He fought at an elite level and challenged Davis in ways he hadn't faced before. Many fans noticed Davis struggling with Roach's timing and range. The upcoming rematch will reveal if Davis can adapt or if Roach truly has his number. Either way, it's a true test of growth and determination for both fighters.
Think about a fight that we just had with Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. My message to Tank after that fight, it was given a draw. A lot of controversy around Tank taking the knee to hairband his face or his eyes, so on and burn his eyes. And, in my opinion, it was a competitive fight. The judges judged it as a draw. A lot of people saying it was rigged, all these different things, so on, whatever it may be. The fight is over.
Davis's trainer revealed they entered the first fight fully aware of Roach's skills. Their strategy was deliberate, but didn't yield the desired result. For the rematch, they don't plan major changes. Rather, they aim to refine and execute the same game plan more effectively. This shows they still believe in their original approach. It just needs to be delivered with greater precision and intensity this time around.
Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity,
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference Vegas coming into this fight?
The first fight, I thought, everybody thought Jalil won. We just got to turn, hit the gears a little harder. We ain't really got to change too much. Just got to put the icing on the cake, Put the icing on the cake this time, that's all. He did enough to win the last fight, but we was in somebody else's territory,
This time around, being in Florida, do you feel like it's a neutral zone?
Yeah. It's more of an even playing field in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel like he needs a stoppage to win the fight due to what happened the first time?
Not necessarily a stoppage. A stoppage is good, but not necessarily.
Henry Garcia suggested Davis may have been mentally distracted during the first fight, possibly due to the absence of his longtime trainer Calvin Ford, which disrupted his rhythm and preparation. Garcia also hinted at offering issues that might have affected Davis's focus. For the rematch, Davis will need everything perfectly aligned, both mentally and physically, to regain his top form and perform at his best.
There's no way you could say Tank won. There's no way.
Do you think that he's diminished in some way, or do you think that just mentally he just wasn't there for the fight?
Well, a little bit of both. His age is catching up to him. His legs aren't there as he used to be, and he switched his trainer. That's could be another factor.
With Barry Hunter being the head trainer and Coach Calvin being outside.
Yeah, but he snapped at Calvin too. So that's there was something going on. I really don't know, and I couldn't really speculate on that because I don't know. But I know that something was bothering Tank because Tank is a good fighter and he's out to hurt you, But hey, Lamont Roach stood his ground, and he did a great job.
One of the most debated moments in the first fight came when Davis went down on one knee in the 9th round, but the referee didn't rule it a knockdown. This sparked widespread controversy, with many arguing it should have impacted the final score. The incident only intensified the demand for a rematch, as fans and analysts want a clear, decisive outcome without any officiating disputes. This fight could finally bring the closure the boxing world is waiting for.
All right, man. Listen, it's been a couple of days since that Lamont Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight. And look, you fooled me once, okay? I'm going to let y'all get that. Y'all got that. But come on, man. this was a money fight clearly, and also clearly Tank lost. I mean, there's no mistaken identity that Roach landed more punches, Tank had a higher percentage, but when we look at the punches and the punching power, it was Lamont Roach 8 rounds to 4. And then if you take into consideration that Tank took that knee, which count as a knockdown, the ref even started counting. I mean, there's nothing even to debate here. If they were tied without them even counting that, if you suppose them counted that part, he would have actually lost the fight. It's a win for Lamont Roach. Get your bag, go out there and say you the only person that tied with Tank Davis. But man, if y'all fight, y'all better fight for real, because this, be real, man.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more. See you next time.